see anything. Just snow was blowing. Good thing I had four-wheel drive, but besides that, like, it's been heavy and continues.
Blizzard conditions across the Sierra tonight. First responders with a warning for anyone who is heading out on the roads.
The big thing is if you're coming into this, you need to be prepared.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Wind gusts up to 140 miles per hour in the Sierra, and this powerful winter storm is going to last all throughout the weekend. I mean, scenes like these could get worse. We're already seeing snow piling up in California and Nevada. The message from authorities tonight: stay home, because driving right now is extremely dangerous. Here is a live look tonight near Soda Springs up by Lake Tahoe. Interstate 80 is shut down in both directions right now because of the low visibility with all that blowing snow. You see some of those big rigs and other cars just stop there on the freeway. Caltrans crews have been forced to hold back traffic in a number of different spots so they can clear out vehicles that have spun out in these conditions. Those crews are working 12-hour shifts with snow plows and blowers out, all in the hopes of trying to keep the roads passable.
Also, slowing down is going to be the key. We've seen quite a few drivers just not have the equipment. They're trying to bypass chain controls. They're doing what they can to get to their destination quickly.
And these hazardous conditions are expected to continue all throughout the weekend with this system. Tonight, KTVU's Tom Vakar shows us how this storm is already creating some impressive scenes.
Once we get to sunset, that's where things do start to get a bit more spicy.
So far, mountain winds and snow have not produced many power outages among the many power companies that serve that region. But with the bigger winds and snows still on the way, that will change.
But overall, we're looking at wind gusts around 40, 50 miles an hour in the communities. And then up on the ridges, up on the mountaintops, definitely in excess of 100 miles an hour.
Already, some mountaintop gusts have been clocked at up to 140 miles an hour. So, snow-laden trees sitting in soggy ground and taking wind loads guarantee many tree falls and power outages.
Some of the models even are showing 4 or 5, even close to 6 inches per hour. I mean, just think about that. Half a foot per hour.
It could even give us one of the top 10 snowiest days that we've seen at the Snow Lab going back to 1970s.
The National Weather Service in Reno says it expects at least 3 inches an hour of snowfall in the Tahoe region and the surrounding area.
By Sunday morning, up in the Lake Tahoe area, you know, several feet, 4 feet plus, including even around Truckee and South Lake Tahoe.
8 feet or more is expected in the higher elevations, but even down mountain, Reno can expect up to a foot of snow by Sunday morning. So far as driving, forget about it.
Drifting snow, so even if the snow plows come through and take care of some of the roads, the snow's just going to blow right back on it.
Even before the full storm truly kicks in, the Sierra snowpack water content is 102% of normal for this date, but still 23% less than what will be needed to make it a normal year by the April 1st deadline.
The snowpack is back.
Bottom line, hope for a continuing chain of more storms to make the year an average one. Tom Vakar, KTVU Fox 2 News.
All right, let's turn things over now to KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking this storm system that is creating those dangerous blizzard conditions up in the mountains. Mark?
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Definitely disrupting travel already, as you mentioned, on 80 especially. And we're showing you this. The blizzard warning is in place right now. So remember, this started yesterday. This is an extended period for tonight into your Saturday until 10 a.m. Sunday. So we've already been seeing these conditions, whiteout conditions, and dangerous to impossible travel over the next several days. This was the scene today from Tahoe's West Shore. Visibility definitely reduced. This was from Homewood. Of course, not much in the way of skiing or snowboarding today because of the dangerous conditions. Right now in Truckee, they are reporting some steady snowfall, a current temperature of 30 degrees, winds gusting to over 40 miles an hour, and visibilities have been coming down to about 3/4 of a mile. And then South Lake Tahoe, as you can see, 31 degrees, winds gusting to about 48 miles an hour, and visibility right around 1 mile. So here is the radar. This has been active all day long. It will continue to be active into your Saturday and the first half of Sunday. So as you can pick out, we'll come in closer to the Sierra out towards South Lake Tahoe, out toward Donner, even moving into Nevada as well, closer to Reno. Here's the forecast model. Once again, we're taking this into tonight, into tomorrow morning, and you'll notice the constant. We have the rain showers in the San Francisco Bay Area. As the energy moves out to the Sierra, we were talking about constant snowfall. This is 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and then into Sunday, the blizzard warning set to expire 10 a.m. on Sunday, so we might scale back on the coverage and the intensity, but the snowfall does not go away. This is Sunday, 5 p.m., and then maybe some more improvement as we take this into Monday, into early next week. So the snowfall projections, the models, it's always a challenge to forecast a storm of this magnitude, but as you can see, these are major accumulations, at least according to this forecast model, and definitely will continue to impact travel as we head into the weekend. We'll have more on the West Coast weather coming up in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you in just a bit. Mark, thank you. And you can find extensive coverage on this winter storm at westcoastwrap.com. That's where you can find Mark's detailed breakdown of how this storm formed, its potential impacts, as well as links to some of the live cameras that will show you real-time conditions all across the Sierra. All right, we move on tonight to other news. In a rare criminal case against medical responders, a Colorado paramedic was sentenced today to 5 years in prison for the death of Elijah McClain. Peter Chikhuniak was convicted, along with a fellow paramedic, in December of criminally negligent homicide for injecting McClain with ketamine, the sedative that ultimately was blamed for killing the 23-year-old. McClain's death raised questions about using the drug to subdue people, and these convictions sent shockwaves through the ranks of paramedics. Today's 5-year sentence was the minimum the judge could have decided under the sentencing guidelines. CVS and Walgreens will soon begin selling the abortion pill mifepristone in some states. A doctor would still need to write a prescription. Walgreens says it will start filling prescriptions next week in 5 states, including California and New York. And CVS expects to begin dispensing the drug at all of its pharmacies in Massachusetts and Rhode Island in the weeks ahead. A recent study found that half of all abortions here in the U.S. are now performed using medication as opposed to surgery.
It's a very popular method. Many people say that they see it as being easier, simpler. It's more convenient. They can have the abortion at home, surrounded by their partner, family, friends.
The abortion pill mifepristone has been at the center of legal challenges, and later on this month, the Supreme Court is taking up the case as to whether the drug can be distributed without a patient seeing a doctor beforehand. Reproductive rights have become a key issue in the race for the White House, and this coming Tuesday is a high-stakes moment in the campaign when 16 different states will hold their primary contest. 4 West Coast states, including Alaska, California, Colorado, and Utah, are among those so-called Super Tuesday states. Fox's Rebecca Castor has insight tonight on what West Coast voters are thinking, and she breaks down what Tuesday's election results could mean for the rest of the primary season.
The biggest day of the presidential nominating contest is just days away. It's dubbed Super Tuesday, when voters in 16 states will head to the polls.
We just need to be sensible. We need to figure out what's really good for this country.
The economy is one of the biggest things, the crisis at the border.
On the Republican side, both Donald Trump and Nikki Haley are far from locking up the nomination. But with Trump leading in most states, Super Tuesday could get him pretty close, even as he juggles courtrooms with the campaign trail.
I will be tough, and I will be fair, and I will be seeking to make America great again.
But Haley says as long as she's competitive, she's staying in the race. She picked up delegates in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, and raked in another $12 million last month, keeping her campaign well funded.
We don't anoint kings in America. We have elections, and everybody has the right to decide how they want to use the power of their voice.
Next week is not only high stakes for Republicans, but for President Biden as well. He gives his State of the Union address on Thursday, a prime opportunity to show off for voters.
It's my hope and expectation that what we will hear from President Biden will continue to be his vision for what the next several years will look like.
Nikki Haley has not committed to staying in the race past Super Tuesday, but has squashed rumors that she's interested in running for a third party. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, it looks like a scene out of an action movie, but it is very real and scary. Tonight, how police in Oregon are using this video to send a strong message to drivers. Plus, a group of teenagers breaks into the Los Angeles Clippers' new arena that's still under construction. The stunning social media stunt and what police are doing to try to track down the intruders. Firefighters from all across the West are in Texas tonight to help fight that state's largest wildfire in history. The Oregon Department of Forestry posted a photo to social media today as one of its firefighting teams crossed the border into Texas. That team includes 16 firefighters, a strike team leader, as well as 5 engines. And the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management is also helping out. Yesterday, a team of 10 firefighters, along with 2 fire engines, headed for Texas's Panhandle. This team intends to boost fire suppression efforts in Hutchinson and Moore counties. In the meantime, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says this fire has already destroyed 500 buildings and burned more than 1 million acres. 2 people have also died. The fire started on Monday in the Texas Panhandle and has spread across the border into Oklahoma. And it isn't over yet. Warm weather and high winds are expected this weekend, which could further fan those flames.
Everyone must remain very vigilant. Winds are going to pick back up. The right elements for a fire will be around.
President Biden says hundreds of federal personnel have now been deployed to the Panhandle to help with those firefighting efforts. Today, police in Las Cruces, New Mexico, released body camera video and surveillance video that shows a deadly attack on a police officer. Investigators say 35-year-old officer Jonah Hernandez was stabbed several times by 29-year-old Armando Silva back on February 11th. Hernandez was responding to a trespassing call when Silva allegedly lunged at the officer. The chief in Las Cruces grew emotional, saying if he wasn't required to release this video by law, he would not have done so.
I've said previously that I will not let Jonah's death be in vain, and I am committed to that statement. I will not stop until we see the change that makes Las Cruces and New Mexico safer.
The chief says a witness to that attack shot and killed Silva and also provided aid to the fallen officer. That witness will not face charges related to the shooting. Another bystander also rushed in using the officer's radio to call for help. The new interim chief of the Los Angeles Police Department is making history. Today, Dominic Choi became the first Korean American and the first Asian American to hold that position. Chief Choi joined the LAPD back in 1995, and since then he has worked his way up through the ranks with a variety of patrol units and specialized assignments. Chief Choi steps into this role following the retirement of Michael Moore. He will serve in this position until a permanent chief is selected. Video circulating tonight online shows people breaking into another large building under construction in Southern California. You'll remember we told you about people breaking into high-rises in downtown Los Angeles, and now it's the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, the future home of the Clippers. Fox 11's Laura Diaz spoke with Inglewood's mayor, who says he is frustrated by this latest stunt.
We're going to use the video evidence that they have been kind enough to post to identify them.
It's the brazen TikTok video showing 2 young people who appear to be teens breaking into the construction site at the new Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The 2 filmed themselves and then posted the footage to TikTok. They captioned it, "Sneaking into Clippers Stadium." That post has over 90,000 views and 11,000 likes. It features the pair mugging for the camera, navigating the construction site and entering the not yet finished basketball court where they landed several buckets, plus spraying a fire extinguisher. The boldness of the breach not lost on Inglewood's mayor, who has a law enforcement background. The video is being studied to apprehend the 2 and security tightened.
And the reality is that all of the site security is conducted by private security agencies. And what happened in this case, so what's going to happen is they're going to increase the off construction hour time security. They're going to bump that up.
Trespassing is a misdemeanor. Inglewood city officials say no sign of vandalism at the construction site, like the graffiti seen at the towers near crypto.com. But Friday, as work continued at the site at a feverish pitch, we saw workers required to show security clearances to even exit the site. They told us off camera that security is tight on the premises. They were surprised by the TikTok.
That's concerning for me, if anyone can just come in like that. Yeah. And no consequences, not knowing who they are, that's ridiculous.
And that was Fox 11's Laura Diaz reporting for us tonight. The privately funded $2 billion Intuit Dome is scheduled to open to the public in August. All right, turning now back to the storms that are hitting the West tonight. They're bringing more than just snow to the Sierra. Images posted on social media today show a mix of snow and rain coming down in Portland. On and off showers are expected in that region into the middle of next week. For more on what people can expect all across the West, let's get back to KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo. Mark?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, we're talking about those cold rain and, of course, snow showers and even red flag fire warnings for portions of the West Coast. So a lot to talk about in this forecast update. You can see all the rain showers moving into parts of California, especially out toward the Sierra. They have the blizzard warning in place. And as you can see right now with the warnings and the watches, there's that blizzard warning, winter storm warnings in place, and winter weather advisories for portions of Oregon. So here is the radar and the rain and the snowfall showing up on the radar. As you can pick out at least some coverage really increasing in parts of Oregon over the past few hours, and then out toward Northern California and the Bay Area, some lightning strikes. Look at all these detections on the radar, and out toward the Sierra. There you go with the snowfall. And then down in Southern California, the Central Coast, down towards Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, some rain showers approaching. They're expecting some raindrops in the Los Angeles area for tomorrow. This was the scene in Seattle late this afternoon. The clouds breaking up a bit. I did see rainfall amounting to 0.19 over the past 24 hours. They have been dealing with the rain and snow mix for portions of Washington. High today in Seattle of only 41 degrees. In San Francisco, we had some rain showers, some heavy downpours, especially this afternoon. A high today of 57, and then down in LAX, you can see all the cloud cover out there with temperatures in the mid 60s, and they have rain in the forecast to start off the weekend. So here's the overall weather breakdown. This cool pool of air is not moving around too much. In fact, it will expand. So rain and snow for Seattle for tomorrow, rain and wind for San Francisco, rain increasing for Southern California. It's sunny and breezy out toward Phoenix, and here you have the gusty winds out toward Denver. They actually have a red flag fire warning with temperatures in the 60s. So in the same map, we're talking about blizzard conditions and a fire warning as well. So here's the forecast model tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. You can see the rain in the green, the snowfall showing up in the white, and then the rain expands approaching Southern California. It remains unsettled for all these areas into Sunday as well, so we don't completely dry things up. Here is the forecast over the next few days. It is cool and wet for Seattle, San Francisco, down towards Southern California, but you can see all the sunshine and temperatures back up into the 70s for the Phoenix area. So that's the place. If you want to escape the storm clouds, that will be the place as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, that's the spot to go for some sunshine. Okay, Mark, thank you. Well, Washington State is getting its first In-N-Out burger. The popular fast food spot is in the early development stages right now, but an application has been sent in to the city of Ridgefield, which is north of Portland, just across the border into Washington. Planning documents show that new location will go up along the I-5 corridor. No date has yet been announced for a potential opening. In-N-Out said it usually takes 8 to 9 months to build one of its stores once permits and approvals are in place. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a dash cam captured a frightening moment on Oregon roads. Coming up tonight, how one driver is doing after going airborne. Plus, a young boy in Hawaii brings his steer to the state capitol for a one-of-a-kind appearance, the message he was hoping to send to lawmakers. Dashcam video from an Oregon police cruiser shows a stunning scene, a vehicle driving off the roadway and right down an embankment. You see that car coming around the curve when the driver launches the vehicle off the road. Police say distracted driving led to this crash. Thankfully, the driver was able to get out of the car themselves, and police say they are lucky to have survived that crash. Part of a parking lot at a scenic Northern California viewing spot collapsed down a cliffside. Footage shows the edge of the drop with rocks down below. This is at the Fleener Creek Hiking Trail in Humboldt County. A district supervisor says it's unsafe to use the parking lot in this area at this time and that it's even too dangerous to walk through. It's still not clear tonight exactly what caused the parking lot to collapse. A 9-year-old boy brought his pet steer to Hawaii's state capital, and it was because he wanted to show lawmakers the importance of generational agriculture. Fox's Bryce Moore has more tonight on his appearance and the boy's connection to one of the state's senators.
Fifth-generation rancher and seventh-generation Kama'aina A.R. Richards told lawmakers in the state Senate today he knows a lot of them don't make it up country.
So my sister and I decided to bring a little bit of Big Island country to you.
Right outside the Senate chambers, A.R.'s pet steer Timmy was brought out for all to see. A.R.'s dad, Senator Tim Richards, says lawmakers often conceptually talk about livestock.
But when you see it, it means a lot more. And so that's why this will be memorable, and we'll remember it as we go forward to make policy decisions.
Senator Richards has 22 bills focused on agriculture this session. One of his top proposals calls for the Ag Department to conduct a water infrastructure study for the state.
In Hawaii, we import 90% of our food. If we don't do a better job on raising our own food, which means paying attention to agriculture, having availability of land, having availability of water, if we don't do that, we're going to lose it.
A.R. telling me ranching has become more and more expensive, even in his 9 years of being a Paniolo. He's thinking about the future of local ag and how Hawaiian culture always considers the seventh generation.
I am that seventh generation. Will you help us?
We'll have a full list of ag bills that focus on workforce housing, infrastructure, and wildfire compensation on KHON2.com. As for Timmy the steer, he's being put on a barge back to his Hawaii Island ranch. A.R. says he gets quite the pampering back home.
Pet him, yes. My sister sometimes brushes him, gets dirt out. It's a whole thing. My sister also does a little bit of a hairdo on the top of him.
1-year-old Timmy is a miniature Hereford steer and is being raised as a pet. Miniature Herefords usually live to be about 15 years old. Bryce Moore, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
A shipping container in San Diego that makes hands-on STEM education more accessible is back again for its 6th year. The coordinators of the Curiosity Cube say it's all about teaching the next generation about a green future.
We're talking to them about the life cycle of a t-shirt and the things that we do in our everyday lives that can maybe be made a little bit more sustainable. This is so important that we give these types of hands-on science opportunities to students everywhere. We especially try to reach Title I schools, schools that maybe wouldn't have these opportunities otherwise.
Inside that 22 by 20-foot retrofitted container, students get special access to modular electronics, digital microphones, and other scientific tools. And finally tonight, before we go, Mega Millions players have a shot at winning the game's 8th biggest jackpot in history tonight. $607 million on the line here. This jackpot has continued to grow. You can pick up Mega Millions tickets in all West Coast states except Nevada, Utah, Hawaii, and Alaska. Best of luck. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next week.